Hello, welcome to this weather update. Well, depending on where you were, obviously, kind of a cool day across Long Island. The warm front really didn't get as close as some of the models had originally suggested. So you can see here on the map, the warm front kind of stays parked almost over the eastern Pennsylvania down into Maryland and the Delmarva Peninsula. You can see that double barrel low press system, snow, a little ice off to the north, and light rain. And again, more storminess out west. You can see that's where the trough is. Let's take a look and see what we got going on right now. Looking at the satellite, actually, the warm front shows up really nice. You actually see it backdooring a little bit here. You can see over, except along the immediate shore, you can see the sun was out in a lot of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and that's where especially in Pennsylvania and further west there, that's where the temperatures really got warm. You can see wind chill advisories for the northern tier of the country, and more winter storm watches and warnings again for the west. There's another storm. Again, the trough's out there, and that doesn't favor, any extreme cold or snow over us when we have that kind of pattern. So let's go take a look, and you can see the winter weather advisories off to our north. Taking a look at what's going on across right now. Across our area, you see temperatures generally are in the low 40s. Get this to load if that would be nice. So you got low 40s, and as you go west, you can see into Pennsylvania. Look at how warm it is in a place like Harrisburg. 72 in Harrisburg right there. So let me move that over a little bit. So you can see 72 in Harrisburg. That's insane. So you can see where the warm front is, right over here, right through eastern Pennsylvania. You can sort of see it. And this is you can see the southeast flow here and the southwesterly flow here. So still 60s. My God. Probably a lot of records got broken over there. We're going to have to look at the high temperatures right now. So let's go to the highs. And the high temperatures for today. And you can see only in low 40s for Long Island. You can see as you got into New Jersey, you can see mid-50s along the coast. And then as you worked your way inland, it was low 60s. Philadelphia looks like they got into the mid-60s. And then as you get to Pennsylvania, you got 70s and even 80s. We go further south and west. You can see, even look at this. Places like Washington, D.C. got close to 80 degrees. That's insane for, I have to see if that's a record. But that's pretty warm for February. Pretty crazy stuff, considering. Let me go to the weather service there. We'll take a look and we'll see. As far as the radar goes, not a whole lot going on. Just some light rain over us. But I'm curious to see if Harrisburg broke any records today. I'll go to the Harrisburg Weather Service and see if they broke any records. 72, my gosh, at this hour. It seems like the temperatures have been rising. Well, let me go to the... Yeah, actually it has. This is the warm front. It actually came through in the afternoon. You can see, look, it went from 50s to 60s right through the 70s. My gosh, that's pretty crazy right there. So the Weather Service of State College weather office. Let's see if they have any... excessively gorgeous weather warning in effect. Oh, please. This is not gorgeous weather warning. Come on. I guess it's no records. I don't know if there were any records for the area that were broken or not. I don't see any mentions of records reported. Let's see if we can... there should be a site that would list the record high temperatures in the United States or something like that. I don't know. Maybe AccuWeather would. But we're going to go to the AccuWeather radar next and take a look and show you what's going on. Not a whole lot. Major storm to bring blizzard conditions, obviously. Yes, another storm for California. They're getting snow even in the L.A. suburbs. And we can't get snow. It's absolutely nuts. But looking again at the weather map, you can see not a whole lot going on here. You can see, again, there's not a whole lot of shower activity along that cold front. All the activity is out west. And this is what's going to be moving into California. Snow, even along the coast, there's going to be snow. I mean, this is pretty crazy. Right around Los Angeles. The suburbs of Los Angeles are going to get snow. Can you believe that? Of course, Flagstaff's going to get more snow. And then you can see a little bit of icing here in Massachusetts. And that icing has caused a lot of power outages, actually, upstate. And actually, even upstate in New York, we have 14,000 customers out. Mostly this is Erie County. So this is all due to the ice that has occurred. If we go and look at Michigan, almost nearly 800,000 people without power right now. And the southern part of the state hit very hard We have most people out of power here. I don't know if there's been transmission line damage. Probably not, but just a lot of people out due to all the ice in these counties here. Very bad, very catastrophic ice storm for Michigan, the southern part of Michigan there. Illinois, you can see some northern part of Illinois, also outages there. And then we have some in California as well. Looks like Del Norte has a lot of outages. Not as bad as Michigan, though. Michigan is really got hit very, very hard by the power outage situation. I'd like to, no any record highs in the United States for the day. I don't know. We'll have to do record highs. I'll just put record highs. See what happens. Any record highs. Record challenging warmth. We don't know. February heat, D.C. region breaks records. Okay, so there was records in the D.C. area as records highs. So high temperatures broke the 80-degree mark in parts of D.C. region, shattering records that in some cases were set over a century ago. Reagan Airport reported a record high of 81 degrees at 3 p.m. on Thursday, breaking the old record of 78 set back in 1874. Oh, my gosh. Back when... And Marshall initially tied its record high of 18, then a short time later it broke it. And Virginia Dulles broke its own record high of 77, observed in 2017. So we're getting air from the tropics. I'll link this article below. It's pretty interesting here. Yeah, it's crazy the warmth that, luckily it stayed away from us. But still pretty crazy. And, if we go into the Wonder Ground, it'll look a little more colorful here under the Wonder map here. You can see where the frontal boundaries are set up right here. It's pretty easy to see where they're at. And you can see it's warmer actually in places like that north of us than there are like Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Pretty crazy stuff going on. What can I say? Absolutely crazy stuff. Nuts. That's all I got to say. So let's go to the models now, and we will look at the weather right now because, again, we're going to get a cool down, all right? Tomorrow it's going to be a lot colder. It'll feel a little more like it should at this time of the year. And looking at the surface, moving the surface map along here on the 18Z GFS, you'll see that high build in, but it'll be quickly in, and then it'll be out. And then a weak system there. And then next week, here we go again, low up the north over the Great Lakes. It tries to put a coastal low there, but we'll have to see. Maybe it'll bring some snow to the east end, maybe. And then another low over the lakes, but it's starting to look a little more. There's a low, there's a storm right there. Now, the model has been showing this storm consistently for the first Saturday of March for quite a while, so this could be don't get too excited, but it's been consistently showing it. So we'll have to see if it keeps consistently showing it. But you can see more of a trough in the east developing here, and that means colder air below normal temperatures as well. With that trough. So we'll go to the upper air now. And 250 MB upper air here. So this shows the jet stream here. You can see the jet stream is more or less over a fire hose west to east flow. Not really conductive to any sustained cold. But look what happens as we get toward next Saturday. Look at that. There's a trough in the east. Look at that. A ridge in the west and a trough in the east. What do you know? But then that ridge pops up again, but the ridge, the southeast ridge looks like it's trying to get beaten down by this model a little bit. So it's a little encouraging, a little bit. Let's not get too excited here, but there's a little bit of hope. February is probably going to be snowless, but March will come in like a lion, like it should. So you can see, this is what we got going on now, and you can see here we go, ridge. That ridge there kind of deflects the worst of that cold air, that damn ridge. And then we have another ridge, but then like that, there's a trough right there. All right, that could bring us a snowstorm and some cold air. And then after that, looks like we have some more troughing trying to develop. You'll notice that blocking around Greenland there, that's trying to, and a ridge off the west coast now. So that would definitely help, bring an improvement to our ridiculously warm conditions that we've had. Now, let's go look at the European model. And we'll roll this to the 12Z European model. So again, this weekend's the cold air is just transitional with that ridge, but you got to hope for a trough. Now the European didn't go that far out. It kind of has more of a broader look to it, more of just a broad trough across the whole country. But you still see that block there in Greenland, so that's encouraging. All right. So let's go to the CONUS view, and we will go and we will look at our temperature anomaly chart, which I'll start with the European first. I usually don't use this, but we'll use this. So you see tomorrow, we're going near normal to below normal tomorrow night, and Saturday will be cold. And then Sunday, already we start moderating, and then we deal with more above normal. But you notice not quite as above normal as it has been. But then there's another, see, this is next Saturday. Looks completely different with that. So this is the European, obviously, still wanting to have that ridge hanging on in the east. And that's what we got to worry about, all right? Because if you look again at the surface map on the European, let's see what it's, no, keep that there. Keep that there. You'll see, it's another one of those storms that goes off to the west, all right? But then when we change this to the GFS, this storm is further to the south. Which one's realistic? Which one is not? The Euro has not had a great track record, but the GFS has a tendency to have a bias here. But we have to see. It's been consistently showing this storm. So if we look at the temperature anomaly chart here on the GFS, you'll see cold air in the east with that snowstorm. All right, so looking at the GFS here, you see, again, there's that warm air from the ridge, that southeast ridge still trying to hang on. But you'll notice some colder air trying to get into the picture, especially with that snowstorm. And you can see some below normal temperatures in the northeast there on the GFS. So we'll have to see, but the GFS has done this before us. Don't get too excited. It's still outside of 7 days. Once it gets inside 7 days, then it has a little more merit, but we'll have to see, all right, if that happens or not, if we can get that pattern change that we need so much. And we look at the total snowfall again, it's all out west. You see it's all out west. There are lots of snow, even in, look at this, even Southern California. I mean, the southwestern United, look at that. There's going to be snow, and some of it's going to be heavy, too, in the mountains. I'm talking over a foot, perhaps even over 3 feet in some of these mountain areas. Even right down to the coast, there's going to be snow. That is crazy. That is crazy, and that is all going to start tomorrow. So it's all going to start tomorrow out there, all right? When we go into our area in the northeast, you'll see not a whole lot going on here. You see some snow up there. It's showing, like I said, it's showing one storm. That would be around Tuesday here. It would be that second storm that would, there's the Saturday storm. There it is. There's the Saturday storm right there. That could give us 7 inches or so. All right, but again, we'd have to see. This is, again, Saturday storm. You can see the low off to the south. We'll have to see. That is a possibility of some snow here. It's crazy, but climatological winter is over once March 1st comes. But they'll still probably count that if we do get some snow. If right now, it's just too. You can see this other storm system here that got some kind of mixed precipitation for Tuesday. That's probably going to wind up. There's a high off to the north. It's not that strong of a high, however. So let's go to the HRRR here. 0Z run to the HRRR, and we'll take a look at there. More of a short-range look here. You'll see some light shower activity overnight, very light and scattered. Tomorrow we're dry. Saturday we're dry, but look what happens Sunday. The HRRR is developing a little bit of an area of light snow with that very weak system there. It's very light, however. Let's see what accumulations the HRRR gives, and less than an inch. Maybe it'll be a coating. Maybe it'll be another half inch of snow, maybe if we're lucky. If we are lucky. Let's go look at the dew points and the wind flow. So obviously, let me get this in the right position here. So here we are, and you'll see here we are. Tonight, you'll see that southerly flow becoming northwesterly before sunrise tomorrow morning, bringing in the drier lower dew points. That dry air comes in Saturday. Very low-level dry air, though, cold dry air. We're going to have overrunning. So as far as getting a nice clear sky on Saturday, it's not going to happen. With that jet stream being zonal the way it is, it's going to stream those high clouds in pretty quick. So looking at our actual air temperatures, staying probably in the low 40s to upper 30s, and then tomorrow we'll start dropping as we get toward the afternoon, mid-30s, and then by after sunset we're going to drop into the 20s, maybe even some teens. It's going to be cold Saturday morning, and Saturday's going to be a cold day. Highs only in the upper 20s and low 30s with that increasingly filtered sunshine probably, but at least it will feel like it should in February. Let's go to the GFS, go a little further here. Move this over to the dew points and wind flow. So you'll see that, again, the winds become westerly. We're out of that area by Sunday. But you'll notice a little bit of another shot on Monday here coming in, a little shot. There's that other system coming through. Here's Tuesday, and then Wednesday. You'll see again just weak, and then another. We'd have to wait until that snow event for Saturday to bring some more sustained cold, because then once that moves through, we're sustained. We have some sustained cold weather if that develops, if that trough develops the way it should. One can only hope, at least at this point. So you see that warm up again for next week there. A little bit of a warm up there, a little bit, not too much. And then Thursday, one more warm day, and then that's it. Once we get toward the weekend, we get cold again. So we'll have 30s. It looks like 40s, so no really ridiculously warm weather. And then look at that, some more cold weather. And if we can get some snow on the ground, that would help sustain some cold weather. But it's still showing some warm days in there too, unfortunately, toward the end. But once you get past that 7-day range, it gets highly volatile. So it's not exactly accurate once you get past that, but at least there's signs of hope, at least, that maybe March could give us a little bit of winter. So looking at the skies tomorrow, probably some instability, stratocumulus. You see this is the low resolution GFS model. You can see it shows a lot of days with clouds. You can see. So this is a low resolution model, though. Let me go to the high resolution RGM. Don't have enough of the 0Z really to use, so we'll have to use the 18Z. RGM, obviously the most optimistic tomorrow, giving mostly sunny conditions for New Jersey, though it does have some clouds over Long Island. You can already see the cirrus trying to move in already by sunset over in the area of New Jersey. Then it gets pushed south, but then we have more cirrus rolling on us for Saturday. It's going to be some pretty thick cirrus, mid and high level clouds. And then for Sunday, looks like it's showing some sunshine with some clouds, but no really mostly sunny days except for Friday tomorrow. NAM, you'll see why I'm not too excited about what the RGM is doing. So you can see the NAM here showing more clouds. RGM may be underestimating the clouds a little bit again, you're going to still have that flow off the lakes, which again will be highly unstable flow as well. So you see there cloudiness, and then as far as Saturday goes, you can see all those high clouds kind of streaming in on us. FE3, we have some of the zeros of the FE3, and let's see. Not a lot. We're missing frames. This is the high resolution GFS. If I go, I'd have to use an old run from 12Z, and you can see it develops all those clouds in the afternoon. So I think there could be a lot of pop-up clouds, say partly sunny and breezy, but Saturday it'll become mostly cloudy, I think. So there won't be much sun once we get into Saturday, I think. And again, we can use different parameters on these models too as well. Let me go to the HRRR here. We can use the HRRR again. We'll show you why we have those clouds, because I'm going to do the model sounding. All right, we'll do like a 10, 11 o'clock. We'll do Long Island. So you'll see here. Let's get this up here on the screen. You see these two are meeting right here. So that's low cloud stratocumulus layer there. Drier air aloft, but unfortunately you see that bit of an inversion there. Just a little bit of one there. That's going to trap those stratocumulus clouds. If we look at New Jersey, it's probably going to be a similar thing. They're pretty close together. They're not quite. But as we get to the noon hours, I think they're going to meet. So let's see. Yeah, they're getting close. They're pretty close. They're pretty close. On Long Island, we'll have to see. Maybe New Jersey might see a little more sunshine tomorrow. But Long Island, I think we're going to have a pretty solid deck of stratocumulus. But I really think that there'll be a lot of clouds in New Jersey tomorrow, too, I think. Let's see. One more on the New Jersey side on this HRRR. Yeah, you see how they're meeting as we get toward the afternoon. So that's a cloud right there. So that's the problem. And then as we get into Saturday, you'll see, even at sunrise, you'll see the high clouds right here, high and mid-level clouds. Lots of moisture in the high and mid-level clouds. Again, green line's the dew point, red line's the temperature. The closer these are, the more likely they're going to be clouds. So, yeah, unfortunately, not a mostly sunny day, probably for either one of these days, unfortunately. And it's just because of the nature of the pattern. If we had that trough, that moisture wouldn't come streaming in on Saturday, and we would have a mostly sunny day. But we still have that. We have a little bit of cold air that came in, but the zonal flow is the problem. That's why we can't get it to be clear. So let's go to the Climate Prediction Center before I wrap up this weather update. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You'll see here, unfortunately, above normal in the east, And yeah, none of this. Unfortunately, they're not buying what the GFS is doing, and they're keeping us in the same crap. Above normal temperatures, below normal out west, and yep. So it's really it's unbelievable. I'll tell you. It's just this is the winter that just will not come. So the question, of course, is will March come in like a lion? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet. There's a possibility it will. But knowing the way everything has gone this winter, I've learned not to get my hopes up. That's for sure. Last thing we'll do. Sea ice. We got to talk about that. So let's do that, and then we'll wrap this up here. Antarctica set a record low sea ice. So if we go here, you see here, Antarctica sea ice extent sets a new record low. That's right. They have broken the record low set last year. So it's not a good situation with the sea ice. And it's not much better in the Arctic either. You can see that blue line. That's this year. Look at that. Well below the normal. Some of the lowest sea ice on record, even in the Arctic. This is a map of it. You see here. Lots of missing ice all around. Over here, too, as well. Thin ice as well. And if we go here, This is another chart here showing this year. And you'll see this is the blue line right here. Well below all the others. Oh, that's Antarctic. My mistake. Looking for the Arctic one. I don't have. I guess they only have this one today, or maybe I always click the wrong one. I don't know. Well, maybe it's this one. It might be this one. I don't know. I guess it was that one. All right. Whatever the case is, we are having record low sea ice at the poles as we deal more and more with the climate crisis that everybody seems to be blissfully unaware of. Just living their lives, loving money, and, thumbing their nose at the planet. It's disgusting. People are disgusting. A lot of people, not everybody, but there are way too many disgusting people, especially on Long Island. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.